Self-respect is one of the most powerful forces in attraction, yet it's often the most misunderstood. When a person truly values themselves, it radiates through every word, gesture, and decision they make. It's not arrogance or pride, it's quiet confidence, the kind that says, "I know my worth, and I don't need anyone else to validate it." This inner strength is magnetic. It draws others in not because you're chasing attention, but because you're not. People, especially men, are deeply attracted to someone who knows who they are and refuses to settle for less than they deserve. It signals emotional maturity and security, qualities that inspire deep admiration and eventually lasting love. When you respect yourself, you naturally set the tone for how others treat you. You don't beg for affection or chase approval because you already feel complete within yourself. This creates a powerful dynamic in relationships, one based on mutual respect, not dependence. Men fall in love not just with beauty or charm, but with the way you carry yourself. They notice when you say no to situations that don't align with your values, or when you walk away from anything that costs your peace. That self-control and self-discipline show that you're not desperate for connection. You choose it intentionally. It tells them that being with you is a privilege, not an entitlement. This boundary of self-respect becomes a silent test that reveals character. A man who genuinely values you won't be intimidated by your boundaries. He'll admire them. He'll understand that you're not playing games. You're protecting your energy and heart. In a world where so many chase temporary validation, self-respect stands out as something rare and real. It creates an emotional gravity, the kind that doesn't fade after the excitement ends. Over time, that respect deepens into devotion because love built on respect lasts far longer than love built on attraction alone. In the end, self-respect doesn't just make someone fall in love, it makes them stay in love. It reminds them that you are someone who cannot be taken for granted, someone who values quality over attention, peace over drama, and truth over pretense. It's the one boundary that doesn't push love away, but draws the right kind closer, forever. Emotional availability is essential for connection, but when it's paired with healthy limits, it becomes irresistible. Being open enough to share feelings, listen deeply, and show empathy creates a sense of safety and warmth that draws others in. Yet, when that warmth is balanced with self-control and emotional boundaries, it prevents the relationship from becoming overwhelming or one-sided. Men, in particular, are naturally drawn to someone who understands how to be emotionally present without losing themselves in the process. It shows strength, emotional intelligence, and independence, all qualities that command both respect and affection. When you are emotionally available, you make space for someone to feel seen and valued. You listen not just with your ears, but with your heart, and that presence creates intimacy. But when you also have limits, when you know when to step back, when to recharge, and when not to give more than what feels right, you send a silent but powerful message. Your emotions are not for free. They are precious and reserved for those who earn your trust. This balance keeps attraction alive because it prevents the dynamic from turning into emotional dependency. Instead of feeling smothered, the other person feels inspired to meet you at your level, to put in effort, and to nurture the bond with the same care you do. Boundaries in emotional availability also teach others how to treat you. When you don't overextend yourself to please someone, you show that love is not about sacrifice, it's about mutual respect. You allow space for both people to grow individually while staying connected emotionally. That kind of love doesn't burn out quickly, it matures over time. Men fall deeply for someone who can comfort them, yet still maintain their own emotional identity. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about knowing that love should flow both ways, not drain one person dry. This mix of openness and restraint builds anticipation and depth. It keeps a sense of mystery alive because you're not constantly available or overly expressive. Every moment shared feels more meaningful, more earned. Over time, that rhythm of giving and holding back, sharing and protecting, creates an unbreakable emotional rhythm. It's what transforms attraction into lasting attachment. Emotional availability with limits is not a wall, it's a filter. It allows genuine connection while keeping emotional balance intact. And that balance is exactly what makes love endure. Boundaries are not barriers, they are definitions of value. They tell the world how you deserve to be treated and remind others that your time, energy, and attention are precious. When someone has clear boundaries, it's not about being distant or difficult. It's about being aware of your worth. People, especially men, are instinctively drawn to someone who values themselves enough to say, "This is what I accept, and this is what I don't." It's an unspoken sign of confidence and strength, and it creates respect before love even begins. When you define your limits clearly, you teach others that your love cannot be bought with convenience. It has to be earned with consistency, patience, and genuine effort. Boundaries create structure in relationships. They stop emotional chaos from taking over and help both people understand where they stand. When you're too available or too giving, it can lead to imbalance. The other person may begin to take your kindness for granted. But when you stand firm in your boundaries, when you prioritize your peace, your goals, and your emotional well-being, you remind them that your presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. This awareness often deepens admiration. Men fall for someone whose love has depth but also discipline, someone who gives without losing themselves in the process. Having boundaries also builds trust. It shows that you are emotionally mature and capable of protecting not just yourself, but the relationship as well. A man who encounters someone with strong boundaries realizes he cannot manipulate, rush, or control them. Instead, he learns that the only way to stay close is to respect those limits. Over time, that respect turns into loyalty because real love grows stronger in spaces where both people feel safe to be themselves. Boundaries make love feel secure, not fragile. Ultimately, boundaries are what transform attraction into devotion. They set the tone for healthy love, love that is balanced, respectful, and built on mutual understanding. When you define what you stand for, you naturally attract people who align with your values. You no longer chase affection or compromise your worth just to keep someone interested. You become someone who inspires effort, not someone who settles for attention. That quiet self-respect, reinforced through your boundaries, becomes the very reason love lasts forever. It gives it a foundation strong enough to endure anything. Consistency is one of the most powerful qualities in love because it builds trust, the foundation every lasting relationship stands on. When someone stays true to their boundaries, their words, and their values, it shows reliability and emotional stability. That kind of steadiness creates a sense of safety that allows love to grow naturally. Men are deeply drawn to someone who doesn't change with every emotion or situation, someone who remains grounded no matter what. Consistency sends a message that you are not just reacting to the moment, you're living with intention. It's not about perfection, but about showing up in a way that proves your character isn't dependent on circumstances. When your actions match your words, people start to believe in your sincerity. It's easy to impress someone for a day, but it's consistency that makes them fall in love for a lifetime. Every time you keep your promise, follow through on your word, or handle conflict with calm strength, it deepens their trust. In love, trust is everything. It's what transforms attraction into emotional connection. When you stand firm on your principles, even when it's inconvenient, it tells them that your love isn't fleeting. It's real, dependable, and worth investing in. Consistency also prevents emotional confusion. Relationships often break down when one person's behavior keeps shifting, when affection comes one day and distance the next. But when you're emotionally consistent, it creates predictability in the best way possible. It tells your partner that they don't have to guess where they stand with you. That calm reliability brings peace, and peace is something everyone craves in love. Men especially find comfort in knowing that your affection doesn't disappear in difficult moments and your boundaries don't collapse when tested. That emotional steadiness becomes the silent bond that keeps them anchored to you. Over time, consistency becomes a kind of language, a way of saying you can trust me. Without words, it builds a rhythm of honesty, care, and reliability that no amount of drama or excitement can replace. And the truth is, while attraction may ignite love, it's consistency that keeps it alive. It proves that your love is not a performance but a promise, not a moment but a mindset. When you stay true to your values, when your boundaries never waver, and when your actions speak louder than your emotions, you become unforgettable. Because real love doesn't just want excitement, it wants someone it can count on always. Mystery is one of the most underrated yet powerful forces in love. It's not about playing games or pretending to be someone else. It's about keeping a part of yourself sacred, something that can only be discovered with time and trust. When everything is revealed too quickly, your thoughts, emotions, availability, and energy, the relationship can lose its natural rhythm of curiosity. But when you hold some things back, when you allow space for the other person to wonder, to earn deeper parts of you, it keeps their interest alive. Men, especially, are drawn to a sense of discovery. They fall deeper for someone who feels layered, someone who has depth beyond what meets the eye. Mystery creates a quiet tension, a pull that makes them want to understand more, not because they're confused, but because they're fascinated. When you keep mystery alive, you maintain a sense of individuality within the relationship. You don't disappear into the connection, you remain your own person with your own passions, thoughts, and inner world. This makes your presence more valuable because it's not constant or predictable. It's intentional. You give enough to show care, but not so much that you lose your sense of self. That balance between closeness and space is what keeps love exciting. Men fall in love with the chase, but not in the way people think. It's not about pursuit for control, it's about the joy of discovery. When every interaction feels fresh, when there's still something left to learn about you, love doesn't stagnate, it grows. Mystery also protects emotional balance. When you hold back a little, you give the relationship room to breathe. You prevent emotional dependency, which often suffocates attraction. This subtle distance creates anticipation, and anticipation keeps the emotional spark alive. It allows affection to build slowly, which makes it more meaningful. Every conversation, every shared moment carries weight because it's not overexposed or rushed. You become the person they think about even when you're not around, the one who leaves a lasting impression rather than a temporary thrill. In the end, mystery isn't about hiding, it's about revealing yourself with intention. It's about understanding that love thrives in curiosity and that the unknown keeps it alive. When you master the art of being open yet reserved, loving yet independent, you create a kind of emotional magnetism that never fades. It's not what you give all at once that makes someone fall in love forever. It's what you allow them to discover piece by piece over time. Love that lasts forever is built on respect, not control. When two people respect each other's individuality, choices, and freedom, their bond grows stronger instead of weaker. Control, on the other hand, suffocates love. It creates fear, dependence, and resentment. Respect allows love to breathe. It gives it space to evolve naturally. When you respect yourself and others equally, you show emotional maturity. You don't try to change or fix anyone, you allow them to be themselves while maintaining your own boundaries. This balance creates an environment where love can deepen over time because it's rooted in trust, not in dominance or submission. When someone feels respected, they feel safe to open up emotionally. They can be vulnerable without the fear of being judged or manipulated. This kind of emotional safety is what turns attraction into deep affection. Men, in particular, are drawn to someone who values their independence as much as their connection. When you love without trying to control, it sends a powerful message. You're not with them because you need them, but because you choose them. That choice, made freely and repeatedly, holds far more meaning than any promise made out of obligation. It creates a love that feels liberating, not confining. Respect also builds admiration. When you respect someone's opinions, dreams, and personal space, you show that you value them as a whole person, not just as a role in your life. This mutual respect creates equality in the relationship. Both people feel seen, heard, and appreciated. And when challenges arise, respect keeps communication calm and solutions fair. Instead of power struggles, there's understanding. Instead of jealousy or control, there's loyalty and balance. That sense of equality keeps love strong even through the hardest times. Love rooted in respect doesn't fade because it's not built on fleeting emotions, it's built on principles. It doesn't demand perfection, it values effort, honesty, and authenticity. When both people can grow individually while still walking side by side, love becomes something deeper than attraction. It becomes a partnership. Over time, this kind of love only gets stronger because it's based on freedom, trust, and emotional security. It's the kind of love that doesn't need to be forced or controlled. It simply exists steady and unbreakable. And that's what makes it last forever. The understanding that real love isn't about possession, it's about respect. The one thing that keeps hearts connected long after the initial spark fades.